If you're out here in the dating scene and you're out here struggling to get to know different people, I have a game we're going to play today. It's going to be a different twist. Just a couple of us having conversations about questions you can ask on a first date. So, welcome to the 14th day of Vlogmas. And we're having a little bit of a different type of content today. So, I brought a couple of people, I'll give them a chance to introduce themselves, but we're going to play the first date game today. Let's talk about it. Welcome. So I'll give everybody a chance to just say something brief, at least let us know who they are. And then we'll go ahead and jump right into it. Who wants to go first? So I got to do like they did in school and point people out?
I'll go.
Okay.
So my name is Bianca. I live in Chicago. I am newly divorced. And I'm just trying to absorb the reality of pretty much just absorb my situation. So currently I'm working. I'm pursuing a few dreams that I've had that I put on back burner during my marriage. And right now I'm just trying to figure out what's my next step. Do I want to relocate? What am I doing? I am dating. So I thought that this was an interesting thing to get involved in, just to see what's out here, what are people really thinking, and to explore and just figure things out going forward.
Okay. Who's next?
I can go.
Okay.
Hey, y'all. I'm Alex Davis. I'm based in Tampa Bay, Florida, specifically Bradenton. I am a holistic wealth strategist, and I've been probably habitually single, but this year I'm intentionally dating because I will not be single during next hurricane season. It's not happening. That's me. Yeah.
So first I want to say, as somebody who almost experienced my first hurricane this year, yes. Almost. I got, Helene spared us, but she was on her way to visit me. She was on her way straight for me this year. Okay, so the guys, y'all up next.
I'll go. My name is Ladarris Hunt. I am also based out of Chicago. I'm the owner and operator of an insurance and financial services organization. I am single, and I just love having these conversations with intelligent, respectful individuals. So I'm looking forward to this conversation with you all.
All right. And so, okay, you gonna go? Okay, go. I was gonna give you a little chance. Go ahead.
Nah. I'm Tim Smith. I'm a fitness and money coach, fitandwealthy.com. I'm newly single and I'm recently into this dating world. I've actually been in a relationship for over 20 years. I have 4 children and I'm getting used to actually being outside a little bit more. So it's been a weird experience, but I've had some fun and met some new people. And I just wanted to learn about this game and have some fun meeting new people.
So I'd definitely be interested in you and Bianca's perspective as two people who are like leaving out of marriage and yeah, definitely interested in your perspective. So I'm Mia. I am financial educator, speaker, and author, and I help women overcome money mistakes and transform their spending habits so that they can achieve wealth. I'm single. So me and Alex, we have a lot of similarities. I'm definitely a habitually single person. Full disclosure, I don't avoid dating, but I don't like unnecessary distractions. They irritate my soul. And so if I find somebody to be quote unquote wasting my time, I'm gonna change him. I can fix him. I am not Bob the Builder. It's not on my resume. So I will withdraw myself and I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to go back and forth, things like that. So that's how I am. So that typically leads me to just be like, you know what, let me just focus on perspectives and me. Now I'll date myself. oh, I treat me real good. So that's kind of how I've become habitually single myself. And it's nothing. I know a lot of great men. It's definitely not that I don't think it's good men out there or anything like that. So now the first date game. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know the name of the person who created the game. I do know his social media name is like Mr. KOA, but he reads bad dates online. He's like at 100 and something, but he created a game because of all those bad dates to give people a way to like really get to know people and ask questions that let you know a little bit more than surface level information at the beginning. So, and kind of like Ladarris said, I love to have intelligent conversations and good conversations about these types of things with people who are going to give real answers, and like we just keeping it real. So we get into the first question. I don't know, but yeah, Ladarris, well, you said, yeah, okay, so everybody's sure that they're single. So we're going to jump right into it from there. The first question is going to be, have you ever jumped into a new relationship and you hadn't quite got over the last relationship yet? No.
Absolutely.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
So how was that experience for you then?
So is it, there has to be some like, what's the timing of this? Would this be like within how much?
So I don't think there's a time to getting over somebody. I don't think there's a set time limit. Everybody has their own time that they might grieve a past relationship. There's no time limit to it, in my opinion. Anybody can share their.
For me, I think that you heal. You don't always heal like on your own. You heal, right? But like, you're not necessarily wanting to get into a relationship right away when you're meeting people. Sometimes you meet someone that just makes you feel like, I could do this again, and you could try it. And I think that you build trust with a new person, and when you work through things, and over time, you just develop a stronger trust and a stronger bond. And I think that like healing through another person is how I've always done it. And that's how I carried out and ended up being in a 20-year relationship, because we healed each other and we worked with each other, and we had a very loving relationship because of that.
That brings out a good point though, then. So it makes you feel like it's levels to healing from an old relationship. I feel like sometimes people bring things from the old relationship that they haven't really got over into the new one in a negative light. And sometimes that causes the new relationship to damage or puts an additional strain on that new relationship that really it shouldn't be carrying the weight of. But you bring a good point. Like, yeah, like sometimes you get the right person. I think that's the key. And you can work and help and heal and mold each other. So yeah, I think that's a good point.
Right.
Now, I will say I have probably avoided getting into relationships because I knew I wasn't over an ex. And so for me, I think that has probably played a little bit into me being single at times, because I was like, ooh, I don't want to bring someone else in if I know I haven't completely closed the door. And so I think that has happened to me in the past.
For me, I don't think I have. Typically, whenever I break up with anybody or any relationship I've had, I spend time with like alone first. And it's not necessarily, I don't know, I don't think it's like me intentionally doing it to heal. It's just kind of this process I go through. I look at the past relationship, I kind of see what happened. I see, like, did I learn something from it? Like, what did we learn? You know, what are we not gonna do again? You know, and like what I gathered from that relationship in that sense, to make sure that I don't have another relationship that's exactly the same. I want to have, bigger and better, huh?
Repeat the same mistakes.
Correct, exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of why I think I spend the time in between. But it also factors in having that, I don't know, arrow to find the right person, and the aim to meet the right person. So I think that's a big part of it too.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm with you.
okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know for myself in my 20s and 30s, absolutely I did. I did not care, one day, a week, whatever, going on to the next one. But as I've matured in my 40s, I realized you need to take some time to reflect on what happened in the prior relationship. What did I do wrong? What did they do wrong? And correct the behavior. right?
Mhm.
And to move forward in the next one, and not bring that baggage to the next relationship. So as I've matured in my 40s, absolutely, I take a little bit of a break. There's no set time frame. It's whenever I feel like I'm ready, and that's when I move forward.
Yeah, and to Tim's point too, though, when I do, like, that is the point where you decide, okay, I am ready. When you do meet somebody that's like, okay, you know what, I could do this again. You know what, I could do this. Like, so yeah, you do have that point where you do meet somebody and it's like, okay, yeah, I could do this. But to that point, that's a question that I ask people. So one of the questions I ask is, are you single? Is there anybody else that don't think you single? Because that's an important one. And
that's
then,
a good one. Yeah.
Because these questions that need answers. Because sometimes they think they're single, but it's somebody else that know they're not, and I need to know what they know. That's what I need to know. And then I ask them with their last relationship. Like, so I don't ask them what happened. I more so ask what you learned. So that's one of the questions I've asked. And I've gotten some very telling responses to that before. Like, I've gotten, they didn't learn nothing. I've gotten like answers that only reflected what the other person did. So they didn't do nothing. They was completely innocent. And to me, right, perfect. They didn't do nothing. Like, you need that guy with the red flag that watches videos and then runs across the screen with a big red flag. Like, no. This gonna be my my red flag.
I always think of Jamie Foxx's song. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Always Fall for Your Type. And I think that sometimes you gotta think about how you always fall for the same person sometimes. And like try to examine that that piece and that action, right? Like I say, you know what? Am I just repeating the same thing I always do with the same person? And when you feel that happen in a relationship, that's the point where your relationship is going to have a challenge and you need to work through that challenge, right? Because I feel like you keep dating the same person until you address that, whatever that issue is, or you guys can address it together, or that person that you meet can help you address it. And that's usually the breaking point of your relationship.
I definitely have done that before. I've definitely dated like the same person a couple of times. Same to like when I was younger, when I didn't think about it. But when you had that time to reflect and look back, like, damn, like this is the same. Like, so it got to be you, sis. It got to be you. At some point, you got to have that look in the mirror, like, sis, like you're the problem because you're the one who keep picking this same type of person. But to me, like, get into history. I didn't have a lot of relationships around me when I was younger, family wise. So like knowing what that looks like and how to pick a good partner, like as opposed to picking someone, oh, he got these traits. What are the traits that complement my traits? And like, what are the things that will complement me in a relationship is, I think, something different I look now as opposed to before. It's like, you used to have that little checklist. People always, well, I don't have a checklist now. Like, you know what I mean? Some stuff is basic, but I don't have he got to be 6'4", like, because you be 6'4" and be ready to throw me against the wall. So like, that's not for me personally, but different people are different. And I'm also a shorter person. So sometimes people who are taller, of course, they have different, things that they look at. But just, I guess as I say, evolving in my picker as I got older definitely is a change that I made for myself, because I did do that. I'm like, this is the same damn person. Like,
well, to piggyback off everything everybody is saying, for me, I haven't been in that many relationships, and I don't jump from relationship to relationship. I'm mad Alexa want to tell me the weather. Sorry. But I don't jump from relationship to relationship. I think that if we just look at people in general, unfortunately, a lot of people are similar. We could say we picking the same people, but unfortunately, a lot of people are the same. And I look at it as, okay, what are you looking for? What are other people looking for? And what are you going in doing? So like I heard you say about, physicalities. My list don't have nothing to do with the physical. I put all character traits, all things that I'm looking for as far as my future. So I think that going in, like, a lot of women, the short thing is a big thing. I don't care who you ask, every woman you talk to, that height is going to come up. And I always try to tell women, like, I get it, but that's the least of your worries. because I mean, that's the least thing you need to be worried about, because height has nothing to do with that man. And I think once people get over that, that's my thing. Like height was never a thing. I'm not that tall, but I'm 5'7". I attract all kinds of men of different heights or whatever, but I don't really be like, oh, he too short or he this, he that. I never really pay attention to that. I'm looking at your character. And I think that based upon my personal situation, like I wish, you know what I'm saying? I don't regret my marriage, but I don't think you get over people. That's another thing I wanted to say. I was trying to keep track. I should have had a pen and a paper.
Absolutely.
But everybody's saying you're going to heal and get over. You're always healing your whole life. You're going to heal your whole life. And I just want people to stop thinking it's a stopping point. You're going to always be evolving. Every 7 years you change. Your aspirations and dreams change. So it's like you're not going to just sit in this position for the rest of your life. And you just have to find someone that is willing to go through the changes with you, and you willing to go through their changes. Because say I'm going to do this business today, and 7 years later, I might want to do something else. Are you still going to ride with me? Are you still going to want to be with me just because I changed my dreams now? And so I think that it comes down to being friends ultimately. Being friends and wanting the best for one another. Because like I said, if I be a horse trainer today, I might want to do something else in 7 years. Are you still going to want to be with me? Because my dreams changed. I'm still me at my core, but my dreams and aspirations have changed.
Here's your money tip for today. So today you're going to focus on doing a spending test. So a spending test is basically when you test yourself to start to build that discipline muscle. It's not something that should happen overnight. It's not something that's going to happen instantly. This is the beginning of the process of you changing the way you spend and use your money. So start to think and isolate what are the triggers. What are the things that cause you to spend? Are they emotional? Is it something you do when you're bored or idle? Is it a habit that you've just created when you go into a certain area? Think about it. That's your money tip for today. And let's get back to the video.
And I think that's the problem. People get with somebody based on this set of things. As soon as that change, you gain weight, you get sick, you become financially, you financially strapped, things change, then your whole idea of them changes, which is the problem. Ultimately, to me, you with that person riding or you not. Like, what are you coming for? Is it for this set of things because they're this right now? And in 10 years, that may change. Then what? And so that's how I look at it.
To kind of add to your point too, something that I've seen, because now, me being older, I'm surrounded by people who've been married like 20 years, 25 years. It's also, what if it don't change?
Yes, you stagnant.
That's what I've seen. I've seen like where one person was changing and then the other person was still the same, and now they had a problem with, but it's like, this is who you met. You know what I mean?
You outgrew them.
That's what sometimes it feels like, but like, are you going to be okay with if they stay?
Right.
That's what I've seen too before.
Yeah. And that's why I always say it's nothing you can predict. That's the thing about it. So it's like, I'm not mad. I'm not mad if you're not okay with who I am now. I have to take it and go with it. But I also know I have to be me at my core. If I feel like I'm ready to change and you're not, and you no longer are aligned with me, you no longer want to be, then I have to accept that.
Agreed. Completely.
Yeah, I think adaptability is a very important piece. Like when you're in a long-term relationship, I've been in a 20-year one. There have been like 4 different relationships during that time period. And I think that each time, like, you have to adapt. And there's sometimes where people get to a point where they don't want to change, or they need a period to develop or change, or some time alone. As long as I had been in a relationship, it's, that was 2004, right? It's 2024 now. We're in a totally different time period. So people, change during a time period. And I think people have these marathon relationships and they just think you have to sit in them forever, and like you can't develop in them. And sometimes you need space to develop, and then maybe you do get back together. Maybe you do something different, but like, give people some grace, right? Like this is a long life. Like in this day and age, like we're connected all the time. Text message, phone, got trackers on your phone. Like it's just not marriages that they were in the past. Like in the relationships, like it's just a lot. You're like always with someone. And it's
You
good
had breathing
and
room back in the day.
yes,
When you went to work, you went to work, that was your solitude. Because guess what? Your wife couldn't call you on the job. She couldn't be texted. She couldn't
miss you.
And I think it just became saturated. People become so codependent. That's all it is. Because it's like, that's what I don't believe. If you go to work, it's okay if you check in, but you don't have to.
Not all the time.
Like I'm gonna do me. We're gonna come together in the evening time and recap on our day or whatever. But it's like some people become so codependent that it becomes a job, another chore.
Mm-hmm.
I have to check in because it's just too much. It becomes too much. Yeah.
I agree. Back in the day, the house could have burned down. You wouldn't have a clue.
I mean, but you know they had that boss that come let you know something going on, your wife calling or whatever, but you didn't have a device that's just attached to your hip and every 2 seconds they're contacting you about something. I think that was like Martin Luther King said, technology was going to be the demise, and it is. It's because it's like it made it like almost unbearable. If you're a person that enjoy your independence, like you don't have to be on me all day. It's 24 hours in a day. If I'm going to work, you can make sure I made it safe, and I made it home. But all of that all day long is too much.
And to be honest, I think you set that tone, though, whether you want that communication or you don't, like you in your relationship. Because myself, same thing. I work with my hand. I can't text all day because I got to write and type for work. I can't be texting all day. So it's like, I think that's a good point though about compatibility. Like you definitely
because you could say I'm busy, but if that person is overbearing,
we're not gonna be talking. See, that's what I told you. That's my problem. We talk about that.
Relationships.
You're gonna cut the cord at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and that's why you do have to be clear on these first dates and all these, like, what is your communication style? But then I also think sometimes when you're dating, you need to make sure you're showing up as you and not a representative.
Right.
Not, you're trying to be something that you're not because you like this person or you don't want to seem too much. Like, be who you are. And I think sometimes, we're all on this journey of growth, healing. Well, not all of us. Some of us don't give a damn about it. But when you are, like, you realize that sometimes you don't even realize that these are some of your patterns or traits that you've had until you start going through this healing process. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute. I wasn't being my authentic self in some of these spaces. Mm-hmm. And so now when you are out here dating, you're really being able to be who you are. So the person you're speaking to and attract, hopefully they're being who they are. But that way, whatever you like and don't like, you're actually expressing it from a genuine, pure space.
And that's really what it's about. Because I can't keep that up, like texting all day. And I can't keep that up because my job, like I said, I type a lot in my job. So I can't keep stopping because it's going to mess up my whole train of thought. I'm okay with keeping in touch, but I've just never been that person that I need to text all day. And I've run into that where people wanted to. And I feel like at that point, we got to have a conversation. And it's just about understanding, like, I'm not ignoring you. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? It's not anything like that. Go ahead.
Establishing early on how we're going to communicate with each other.
Yeah, that's what I have to do.
You need to communicate with me in the frequency that I need to communicate with you. And if those frequencies are aligned, then we can move forward. But if you require me to text you every 15 minutes throughout the day,
we're not gonna make it.
Yeah, we're not gonna make it. That's what it is.
Require me to be on the phone with you for 4 hours a day.
I've experienced it before. Like, we start talking, they're like, well, where were you? I've experienced it with friendships also before.
Some people are just extra, but like to piggyback off y'all, like I get y'all saying set the tone right at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So you can have those conversations. That's what's so crazy. And you can let them know whatever. And then just say it's not your usual style. You're trying to appease them. Yeah, with the lunch, just say a lunch check-in. You check in at your lunchtime. Sometimes it's still just a bit much. Like, some people don't read the room, and I guess that's up to you to cut that cord at that point. And that comes with growth, though. That comes with growth and maturity, and you learn these things along the way. Like right now, I'm really kind of zero tolerance. So the first thing I'm not even gonna, because I've been through this before. I'm not even gonna oblige you. This is what I'm doing. If you can't roll with that, then we're gonna have to move on.
Yeah, I'm a big on not opening up can of worms type person. Like I forecast, so I'm not going to open up something that I know that I can't continue to do. Now, that's what I used to do back in the day, like you say, try to appease, or like I say, my representative. But these days, I don't have time for no representatives. Like,
I was just curious, like when you say read the room, like via text message, that's always like.
I think it should be a conversation.
Yeah, I think at first you can have a conversation
right now. But I'm like, well, how am I supposed to know that it's via text?
Well, see, I think it should be a conversation. I'm big on like let's talk.
Okay.
Like, I don't like rooms for gray. Like let's just lay it all out here on the table. It is what it is. So he was talking to you, Bianca.
I'm sorry, I missed it. I'm sorry, my phone doing the most. I meant to put it on Do Not Disturb. I'm sorry, y'all.
I was asking a question about when you said you're at lunch and you receive a text and you obviously don't want to engage at that moment, and you're saying read the room. Like, how do you read the room?
Well, I wasn't saying you don't want to engage, because like just say somebody want to really talk all day. If they could, they would text you all day. So just say you compromise with the lunchtime interaction is what I was saying. And you're like, okay, I'll hit you on my lunch. And it's just like, sadly, some people just still don't get it. You try to oblige them. That's what I meant by checking in on your lunchtime. So even though lunch is my solitude, I don't want to see a screen, period. Because guess what? I'm on a computer all day. I'm on my phone all day. When I take my lunch, I want to just look at the ground outside, the trees, nature. Like, I don't want to talk. But because you're my mate and I know you need to hear from me, I go ahead and acquiesce to your request. And it's like they take that and run with it, is all I was saying. It's like,
gotcha.
It's no, like you have to just set the tone, like Nia said, period. You have to just set it and be done with it. If they can't deal with it, then oh well. Because I mean, you literally will have no breathing room after that. Because then guess what? Not only do they want to talk to you on their lunch, they want to talk to you on your break. They want to do your break too. Like you have no time to yourself.
Yeah, and I'm not saying boundaries. Exactly. I'm not saying there's no compromise, but you got to set boundaries. I feel like in the beginning, if we doing this in week 1, what's going to happen when you actually get feelings for me?
Jesus.
It's going to get worse. So that's what I experienced.
As a working parent, I think that it's easier to set boundaries, like where you talk to other working parents or meet other working parents, because you literally don't, especially single parents, you literally don't have the time to be on a damn phone the whole time. So you have to set those boundaries. And I think that when it feels right, like a person's going to give you the times or want to give you the times where you could talk a little bit more and have an in-depth conversation. So if someone is like taking your time and they're not respecting it and they don't like just feel that energy, right? They're just not the person for you half the time.
Correct.
But when you feel the person, when you want to stay on the phone with them or they want to stay on the phone with you and you continue that conversation and you can't wait to stay on the phone with them, then like it's organically flowing longer, right? You just don't want to push it. One person just like talking and rambling. You just sitting there, it's like, oh, when is this person going to get the damn phone? So when you have that energy, you just, for me, I just don't talk to people that when it gets like that, it starts getting boring and I'm like, yeah, this is not it.
Right. Like, let me go walk my goldfish. I'm gonna call you back.
That's true though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I think that's true. Like when it's organic. I think that's the thing. Like organically, we just naturally mash and talk, and you want to talk, and you kind of build your communication style. Okay, so look at it. Yes, you can feel it. It's natural. It does not take a lot of work. I am a firm believer. If we have to put in a lot of work in the beginning, this might
not gonna work. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this might not be the connection that you think it is. Because it shouldn't be that hard in the beginning. I know relationships are work, but if the first month we start, let it go, let it be.
Yeah, I've had to cut people off quick. Like, you know what? 2 days. That's okay. You know what? I don't think we compatible. It's not working out.
Yeah, I can share stories, but obviously that's not the conversation we on today.
You're right.
I got plenty of stories, definitely. Flashbacks. So next question. Switching gears. When it comes to your friend circle, are you the smartest person in your friend group? I think that's a good question.
No, I'm not.
But I think that's a good question. I like
it. Is.
It is. Great question.
Because it makes a huge difference later on in the relationship.
Yeah, I'm not greatly, but
you said what, Tim?
It feels like a trick question, and I'll tell you why.
Go ahead.
Because an arrogant person, or sometimes a person that's cocky, will think that they're the smartest person in the group all the time. And when you answer that the wrong way, you answer it the wrong way. Yes, it can come across as pompous, and sometimes you can be a jerk and think, "Oh yeah, I'm the smartest person in the group," and it's just an arrogant thing to say sometimes.
Also, what if you have multiple friend groups?
Only if you're arrogant.
I have multiple friend groups.
So here's my thing.
True. But some people, it usually brings out the worst of people when you ask that question, because they be like, I'm the smartest person in every group I'm in.
Oh, I'll have to add that to the list.
I'm saying some people say that. A guy will say that. They'll go in like, yeah, I'm this, I'm that. And you feel all of the arrogance come off their body.
Because they're trying to impress her in that time as well.
Right.
So not really understanding the point of the question, they're like, yeah, absolutely, I'm the smartest one. Because you want to come off as being intelligent. Absolutely. Not knowing that you never want to be the smartest person in the room, because you always want to be learning.
Yeah. In my opinion, I don't want to be the smartest.
I want to be if you're the smartest person in the room.
Yeah. Help cut some of these steps out, because baby, it's too many.
It's too
many. I love that question. That question is awesome.
I think it's a good question, and
it very much is. It's telling.
Yeah, it's a 10 point. If they're like a cocky, arrogant, this because like if they go in and they start like really leaning in,
you already know it is.
For women to engage the man in their ego and how they answer that question, right? I don't think that's a great question for a man to ask, because women aren't really. Most women don't have egos like that. So they're not.
Oh, yes, they do. Look, not as harshly as a man, because men are. That's like y'all think y'all number one, but it's some women out here with that's they top 5. The ego is running rampant. Trust.
Yeah, it's some women who want to be the prettiest. They want to look the best every time they step outside. They don't want nobody touching what they look like. They purposely like find out what everybody wearing just so they can try to make sure they wear something top them out. Like, don't sleep on them.
The question you ask a woman, I feel like, would be, where do you sit in your friend groups? Like, are you the most are you the organizer, or are you just a part of the group? And that'll like bring you out with the woman who she is, right? And how she is with her friends.
So question to you all, I like the way you word that. So what is your place in your friend group?
See, that for me personally, I'm like, I have multiple roles, because every friend needs something different. So I can't just say, I'm just my main thing is I'm trying to go home unscathed. That's the bottom line. Like, I'm a peacemaker. That's for sure. I can say that's first. I don't like controversy. I don't like confrontation. So I'm always trying to mediate. But overall, I'm going to inspire you to be your best self. I'm going to support you. I encourage you, but I'm not trying to change you, because your goals may not be my goals. And I'm not trying to tell you what you should be doing, because you may not be in alignment with what I'm doing. And so I'm the acceptor, if that's the word. I accept you for who you are. And I try to encourage you if I can help in any areas. That's about it. Because there's too much to try to, put what you want out of life into your friends. It's just not always going to line.
Agreed. I say that all the time. Like, I don't even have to understand what you're trying to do. Like, it's not for me to understand. It's not my mission. It's that's not my purpose. It's your purpose. So I'm here to support you on your way to it. For me, I'm the guidance counselor for my friend group. I'm the one everybody calls for looking for logical answers and not emotional answers. And I am organizer, definitely to organize, the one to agsy.
And for me, that tells me a lot about how the relationship with a woman would be like when you give those answers, right? Like Bianca, you sound like someone that is accepting of a person, of a man that will listen. And like Nia, you sound like a person that would help a man like organize and keep his life together, right? Which a lot of men need, right? Those are the things that says like, and there could be a person in that group that says, I'm the one that will have all the problems. And if you hear that, I'm the queen bee. You'd be like, as a dude,
you don't want
like,
that one. You don't want that one.
Red flag. Red flag.
Like, I don't need no friend like that.
Because it's like you're bringing everybody down.
Exactly.
And like me, I'll help somebody, but I also have been that person that did too much, so I'm against that now. Like you're a grown man, I'm a grown woman, and I understand that everybody's not the same. You might need me to prop you up on the leaning side, but you should be able to stand alone. If I wasn't here, would you be able to go throughout your life on your own? And I think that's what a lot of us women make the mistake of doing too much. So I'm not doing that anymore. I've done that a few times, learned that lesson. And like I said, God bless you in your ministry if you need help, but I'm just not that one at this time. I'm not doing that again. I need you to be able to stand on your own. If like teach me something and I can teach you something, that's different. You know, I got a strong suits. You have strong suits. We can help each other. If you weak over here, I'm weak over here. We gonna help each other. But if you just need help like your mama, I'm straight. I can't. I'm done with that.
I do think I see that happens a lot. I even see it happen like in my friend group, but it'll be certain things that how can I
they bleed you dry. It's like, girl.
No. I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna say the woman's role in it. So they'll ask them or want them to do something and they'll like overly help them do it and don't give them the opportunity to do it themselves because they feel like they're not doing it in the time that they think they should be doing it in. And so it creates this, I told you, I'm around a lot of people in a lot of long relationships.
Dependent.
And it takes them a while to realize this is an expectation that they've been put in. And so they overcompensating for the expectation that they put on them instead of allowing them to become empowered in that space to figure it out and to take care of the thing on their own time. And it turns in like after 5, 10, 15 years, it creates this standard that they're not ultimately happy with. I'm laughing at Alex's face.
No, because I mean, no, you're talking real toxic, but it's back to that representative things. Like you didn't want to do that in the first place.
You did it.
And so you already started out on a foot where it's like, it wasn't something that was genuine in you anyhow. Correct. And so now it gets to the point when you keep doing something you don't want to do, and now you're just frustrated. And now you're upset because the other person doesn't see that it's a problem. They don't see it's a problem. You didn't tell them it's a problem. Like that. They think it's okay.
Correct. It's like that old Destiny's Child. Like, see, I know we ain't official. Us being official ain't never been the issue.
Right.
When it came down to us, you know, it was you, so I was with it. That means that's not what she wanted. She did
it. But you did it because of that person.
Correct. And it's going to be a problem down the line.
So let me just say something real quick. I'm sorry, y'all. So I have some younger girls I work with at work. And one of them came to me like, you know, her boyfriend needed a job. And so she was like, yeah, I'm going to get him. He don't have any money. So I'm going to get him a haircut and I'm going to go find him an outfit. And I just was like, ho. If he have a job interview, why are you doing all of that? You know, it's like, if he don't understand that he needs to be presentable at a job interview, what can he do for you later on? Like you shouldn't be paying for his haircuts and his interview outfit. You helping him with his resume. It's like, this is a child. It's like you getting your child ready for school. Like and so many women do that, young or old. young or old. And I talk to so many women on a regular. That's why I was like, it's just, we have that's our nature to help, but it can also become, hey, you're handicapping that man. You shouldn't have to pay for his haircut. He know he needs to be presentable to go to that job interview. Why are you paying for the barbershop fees and you going to get him an outfit and you helping the resume? You got him the job, probably somebody you knew that knew somebody. That's when I'm just like, we have to be real. And like, I can't even see your name. And is it Alex? Okay, I can't see that good. It's like she said, you're doing too much and you don't want to do it. But we do that because we care and we just trying to be a help, but it can mess you up the whole time. Because like you said, 10, 15, 20 years down the line, you still being that person. And now you irritated.
Yeah, and you've created that standard. That's the standard now. Whenever something.
So it's like, I'm done with all of that. Come correct. That's it. I have nothing else to say. You ain't got it together. I don't want to talk to you.
So next question.
Well, I have a rebuttal to that.
Oh, go ahead.
So you're saying you're speaking to one of your younger coworkers, right?
Yeah, she's not a coworker, but yeah.
I'm assuming they're in their 20s.
Yes, late 20s.
Unfortunately, a lot of brothers in our 20s
are not ready, right?
They don't understand the importance of having a resume, getting a haircut for an interview, having the appropriate attire for an interview. For whatever reason, they didn't get that information from their mother or their father.
Whoever was available to raise them, right?
And so for that person, who are they going to get that information from?
They could get the information from her, but she don't have to do it. That's what I'm saying.
But
when I was in my 20s, I gave a lot of information that I learned from my parents and my peers or whoever to younger men, because we in the same age bracket that didn't have that influence. And I've done what she did. What I'm saying is that sets the stage because they become a 45-year-old, still leaning. Not everybody, but a lot of them still leaning on somebody else. It's like, I could tell you, okay, you need to fix your resume. Say you're not good with that. I'll do that. But to do all three is a problem. Is what I'm saying.
The haircut definitely is an issue. Like as a man,
and if you don't have the money, you could ask. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, it's just putting yourself in a position that you don't want to be in.
Exactly. Now the suit thing, I think women definitely the spouse or the girlfriend can definitely help with picking the right suit so you look nice. You look nice and look presentable, especially if you don't have a suit.
So you're saying and I'm not saying your input is the problem. I'm saying you going out doing everything. Like, so
he did was just show up for the interview.
I could tell you even got to have a suit. You could wear khakis and a polo, whatever. Just look presentable. But the fact that you don't know anything and then you're not doing anything. I'm doing everything for you. I'm telling you, and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And younger not. I think that's.
You don't have any of your own drive, and are you
right?
Get it?
So why am I doing what you don't? If you don't care, why am I caring? Right. That's my thing. So it's like I don't care what you say. I didn't have a perfect childhood growing up. I had a best examples of relationships or none of that. And I feel like people use that as an excuse. I learned from what I saw. He out there, he looking, he the one or he don't.
But we're also. Am I assuming that everybody in this chat is over 40?
I'm over 40.
Oh, okay. So we're all looking at this particular situation with the lenses of 40-year-olds. But as a 20-year-old,
I was in my 20s. Yeah, I'm speaking from a 20-something perspective.
Some of them are really, they need hand-holding.
Well, that's fine. But if you start out hand-holding, you're going to have to hand-hold the whole relationship.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing I'm saying. Like, okay, yes, they do. And you're right. And they even worse now than they was when we was in our 20s. So they even worse now. But my thing is, I need people to set the standard for what you want in your life. Yes, the biggest percentage of people has probably got deficits and they not where they need to be. Well, then you don't need to be over there. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to be the savior, the superwoman to help this man because he's not trying to help himself. That's not your job. And that's what we needed to hear when we was in our 20s.
Yeah.
But we didn't have that. What we had was what I saw. You just do it to no end. All I saw women would do, sacrifice their whole life, their whole existence to keep this man up. And then guess what he gonna do? He gonna leave eventually, because now you got him to the status he want to be. Now he want to go get a woman that's gonna look at him as a superhero. And because you don't look at it as like that. Why? Because you helped him get there. So now, no, he need to go find somebody that's looking at him as the best thing walking, because she don't know the struggle. She don't know how you got here. And so that's why I tell any woman, if I knew what I knew now in my 20s, I would have never done what I've done. And I'm advising anybody come to me for advice, young, old, my nieces, everybody, I'm telling them, do not do it. Help yourself and find you somebody that got their stuff together. Whether he older or not, it doesn't matter. Stop helping these men. They walking on this earth just like you are.
I think that a man should come into, especially even if you're young, you have to have something, right? You can't just come in and have a woman do everything for you, especially even when you're young. I met a spouse when I was really young, and I had other girlfriends when I was young. I didn't come into their life with like a suitcase, and I have pretty aunts. They got men that will move into their homes with suitcases, right? Because they didn't have their own. Right. Mm-hmm. So for me, one of my things my father always taught me is never be that man. Right. So when you come into a woman's life, you're trying to build something for them rather than build something for you. Otherwise, you shouldn't necessarily have a world.
Agreed. Yeah. Like, and it's like, it's okay. But if you're the one looking to get the job, why is the girl the one doing everything? I understand they need help. They need guidance. They need different things. But if literally all you had to do was go to the interview, they got you the job, they did your resume, they did the application, they got your haircut, they got your outfit. I mean, damn. Exactly. I'm getting tired.
Did you want the job or did I want you to get the job? They should now, are you going to last a couple of days at work? Because you didn't really want this job.
I need a little allotment out that paycheck or something at this point.
Absolutely. But, I think that women are emotional sometimes, and some women are, but more than not, women are more emotional and logical than men. And men use that to their advantage, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, men will use their ability to take their emotions from them, right? And, like, make love to them, make them feel real good about themselves in exchange for them doing stuff for them. And they use that to exploit the women, and that can happen easily to women because men. Yeah, a lot of women, it's natural. You want to help.
Complexes. Mm-hmm.
When you care about somebody, you do want to see them at their best. You're going to do that. Right. But my thing is this: if I care about you more than you care about you, what's that saying? Like, I care about your well-being, your future more than you do. Like, that takes maturity, wisdom, going through things. Like, I didn't just come to this conclusion. That's why I said I wish what I knew today, I knew back then. And that's why I'm advising the younger ladies that come to me for advice, sweetheart, you don't have to do all of that.
It's like do something. Google, and if you don't know, you can Google. Like Google, we got YouTube University. We got Google.
Too much.
Put some kind of effort into finding out. Because if there was a new game or whatever they was interested in coming out, they would be Googling that.
So best believe they do. They put the energy into what they want to, whether you like it or not. Like I said, we all grew up. Well, I ain't gonna speak for everybody, but I know majority of people grew up in a less ideal situation. We all can say this happened in my childhood, and we all need therapy. We need to do things, but for the basic principles of life, it's okay to ask for help. But if you just don't care, why should I? That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Ladarris, I like to channel your point, man. Some brothers, when they're young, they are diamonds in the rough, right? They just need some guidance from a woman that loves them, and that does help sometimes. But more often than not, in our communities, it's challenging to find that diamond in the rough, right? And a lot of times, you end up as a woman giving a lot of yourself and losing a lot of years, and some of your best years, helping a man that's not going anywhere.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree.
You do trying to just want more for somebody that ain't want for themselves. That'd be the biggest thing.
Been there. Oh my God, I've definitely been there. Ooh, I have.
There are literally men in that same scenario that you were speaking of, Honeybee, and they are 20 years old, and they still need their woman to help them get a haircut.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
life for me.
For
that for me.
Leave them alone.
But this my thing though. Like, what if I'm your woman, right? Like, cause Nia, you said 15 years. Like, what in them 15 years am I doing wrong that you didn't say, okay, she showed me the ropes, so now let me pick it up and do it myself. Like, I just feel like that's just taking advantage at that point. And I get it. Some women are very much mothers, nurturers. They're gonna be that till they die. And I'm not against that, but I just feel like you're handicapping a man at that point. Like, he literally, not saying he can't, but you set it up to where he damn near can't do things for himself.
And you predicting your future, because at some point you're going to get tired. And what ends up happening is, like I said, 10, 15 down the years, now they're exhausted. Now
you done. You over it.
She's tired. She's exhausted. And now she's just like, and now nothing's going to get done because now you've conditioned them to not do anything. So now the whole house is suffering. But yeah, we're going to move to the next one because we round. So the next one is, would you ever give your partner a hall pass in exchange for a hall pass of your own? And if so, what restrictions would you put if you would? Me personally, I'm selfish. I'm selfish.
Yeah, no.
I don't play well with others. So
yeah, just be single. We can just be single.
Yeah, I don't play well. But I know
you need to do all that. I probably no, we can just be single for me.
Yeah.
I think that you have to decide this in your relationship at the beginning of your relationship. Sometimes shit happens in your relationship, and not necessarily a hall pass, right? But you got to agree to, if some shit happened, right, and we're together, that we're not leaving with another partner with that. Now, if the person does make a mistake, right, shit happens. Like, especially you can be together for 50, 70 years, like, shit gonna happen sometimes. And if it happens on either side, it's a one-time thing, but that shit better not happen again, and you better not be trying to leave with that person. At least that's how I feel, right? And
how
that's
can you
either
control
or.
that though?
What do you mean control what?
How can you control if they get that feeling for that person? Because we all have known somebody that has dated somebody that was supposed to sleep together one time, and now they married for 20 years with 3 kids.
Hey, then there's some problems other parts of the relationship, right? Like, I think like a thing is a thing, right? One time shit happens, hey. But if it's love with the person if you're in love with the person you're with, right? And love meaning love holistically, a whole person, right? You accept them for everything. As long as they're not leaving for that affair partner, I don't think that it can kill this relationship. But if you know what it is, that's what it is. Like, it can't be like, yo, I'm gonna hit this and then I'm moving on with this joint and fuck you. That's just not it, right? But I don't agree. I definitely don't agree with a hall pass, but I can see that it happened in some relationships. What I'm trying to say, because humans are going to be humans. We're not. I think you could love someone, but monogamy is not the same thing as love.
Okay, well, I'm gonna just put my little 2 cents in.
Give us 20.
You can't control a person, so this is where I'm at with that. We could say we want. I just don't believe it's realistic, and I'm gonna just keep it a buck on either side, because they love to say men is biologically they not set this, that, the third. I believe that you have to decide to be faithful. You have to make that choice every day when you step out your house to be faithful, because that's what you signed up for. Now, do people step out? Yes. Do people have a conversation and sit down and say, look, I just feel like I need to do something else. I'm going to be honest with you. This is what's that. I wouldn't be against it personally. And that's only because I've had situations where I've cheated. And I understand how I could disassociate it completely from the relationship. It wasn't like, oh, I'm mad at him. This happened. This is why I did this. I set this to the side. That's not what happened. So it's like I could kind of see from both viewpoints. I think it needs to be honesty up front, and you need to tell me what's going on. That's the only problem I have. With cheating, you're lying. You're hiding things. I don't know what's going on. People coming to me, telling me stuff. That's a whole different situation. So I think that's when you have to come to an agreement. Like, okay, me and you, hold on, y'all. I'm sorry.
I was going to ask her what was her restrictions be, since she said she would allow it, but Ladarris.
So, you know, I have a number of friends that are in relationships like that, where it's open, right? And I've had great conversations with them about
just go in the room.
Can you mute Bianca?
and
I'm sorry, I'm back. My bad.
For me, I agree with Bianca. There needs to be guidelines established, right? Because life will happen. And hey, we need to be able to have an open communication with each other to be like, hey, you know what? I kind of met somebody that I kind of want to see sexually. Would you be okay with that? You know, but you guys have already established that up front.
Right.
And that's, you know, to me, it's a little too much, but with these conversations that I've had with my friends that are in these situations, you know, they had these conversations with each other, they mutually agree, and both parties have these hall passes. And they've been having these hall passes for 20 years.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. I feel bad. But at the beginning, it just needs to be a conversation at the beginning. Some people just believe it's a no. It's a hard no. And I'm not, you know, I don't want that for me. But I just know that with longevity and time, if you keep it 100 and you're honest, you should discuss it with your partner. That's all.
And I personally know couples where it was not a conversation in the beginning. It was a conversation 10, 15, 20 years into the marriage where they both became bored with the situation and wanted to inject some excitement into the relationship. And the passes were the excitement.
I've known
for me, I'm not with it. I'm really a one person, and like these streets is just too scary for me to be involved in. I just don't.
You know the same
because
but
and then it's just you get older, you one person. It's just not you gotta wear. Yeah, it's just different. I'm not going outside. I'm good.
Right. So for me, I agree with Bianca. It's a conversation like I'm a firm believer in there are no set norms. Each relationship has to decide what's best and what they will do in their relationship because they're the only two people in it. And they're the only two people who have to live with it. So they should decide what they want to do. For me, I'm not a fan of it. I mean, kind of like Tim said, it's a little scary with all these new diseases and we got enough stuff going on. But 3, like we're getting older. So like not being funny, but if they got too many, you ain't gonna have none for me because as you know, we all know how the sexual peaks go with men versus women. So I'm just saying. The next thing is I've known couples who have done both. So I've known couples who have done like the whole like polyamorous thing before. Some that's going well, some that's going bad. Like I had one that they were, and then the wife started making rules like, well, y'all can't play while I'm at work. Y'all only can play when I'm at home. And it's like, well, what's the point? Why are we here? But that's the type of thing that started happening because she was getting envious because, you know, he was liking some things that she was doing more so, I guess, than his wife. And then, like you said, it's an injection of fun. So it was something new. So naturally in the beginning, you like, you know, new. And so it ended up, they're not even together no more. It completely destroyed their union. So like Bianca said, it's a conversation that y'all have to have and decide. And you got to consider your relationship and who you are. But for me personally, I don't play well with others. I'm selfish.
But it's not like a relationship. You're not about to just continue. Like who said one of the guys? Tim said that. He said it's like a one-time thing. So we're not talking about you just bringing somebody in to play with sporadically. No, this is just a discussion up front. We're not trying to have another relationship on the side because it basically, like Alice said, let's just be single then. Because what's the point at that point? It's not nothing that you like, okay, well, we just know throughout our entire relationship that you just gonna venture out whenever you get ready. So any disease, anything is just I'm just vulnerable. No.
That's what
this is not that. I'm saying like a hall pass is a one-time thing. A hall pass is a one-time thing.
So
it's not like
that it only can be one time because Ladarris said his friends have had 20-year hall passes. They can
they doing a polyamorous thing. You do you, I do me. But at the end of the day, we coming back together. That's different.
Okay.
We didn't say that's not a hall pass. That's just you living your life and I'm living mine. But we gonna stay in this union and be together and work life together. But we still gonna do us. I would never. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, and that's okay. Again, like you all said, if you have communicated that up front and you've established that and you've been honest, I'm very much like you, Nia. Like, do what works for you and your household, but please just make sure you're honest about it. So when this question, and I do actually like this question because you can kind of get a feel for if somebody's into the, oh yeah, I like multiple partners, I get bored easily, and hey, and that's great for you. But for me in my household, I don't, that's not really my ministry in this season of my life. And so as long as you're being upfront and honest about what it is that you want, hey, have that. And I think the problem often happens is a lot of people are not honest about their needs and
No,
their
they
desires.
lie.
Then right. And then you get into it and you're like, well, wait just a minute now. That's not what we talked about. That's not what we had established. And so I think that's where it becomes unfair.
They're not gonna tell the truth. That's the sad part. Most people are not gonna tell you the truth up front. They're gonna say whatever they feel they need to say that's gonna make it comfortable for you all. But literally, if they just, little do you know, if you just honest up front, you just never know what the feedback is gonna be. But the sad part is so many men and women go into a situation saying what they think that person wants to hear and just going with the emotion. It's just like, you just be 100 about yourself.
Yeah.
Be honest with yourself first.
Be honest with what you want and allow the other person to decide if they want to move forward.
Right.
Correct. Now, what is the question I need to ask on a first date to establish or get the feel for? Can someone be completely honest? Is that a first date question that you can ask, or is that something you have to wait until you get to know them a little bit more? But how do you really get? Is there a question that you can ask that really gets to the bottom of, can this person really share what their heart is actually desiring, not what they want me to hear?
I think that's going to be time, because I think maybe Tim said it earlier. Sometimes what they're answering is what they really think. Because sometimes you can have an incorrect perception of yourself, or people. I've known people, friendships and relationships, that they live in this bubble and they really believe what they are telling you, and it don't necessarily be the truth. So sometimes that's what I mean when I was first asking about like healing out a relationship. Sometimes you have those type of things that you need to work on, like the codependency that Bianca brought up. If you're that type of person that you're hanging on every text, that's something you probably should deal with. Those abandonment issues and codependency before you jump into another relationship. But if you don't realize it's an issue, so to me, it's perspectives.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, character questions are good for those things, like a way, like, and also time, right? Like Nia said, always having time to like just observe someone over time and just letting them talk too. You just let people talk.
It's good.
Oh, I think he froze.
Oh, he did, but that's a good point though. He froze at the right time. That's a good point. Let him talk. Like let him.
Yeah, let him talk. Yeah, let him just listen to them. Don't be talking so much. Just listen to them, and people will tell on themselves right away.
Yeah,
like in order, that's what I do. We ask them an open-ended question and just let people talk, and then you find out all types of stuff.
That's definitely what I do at work at my job, because I question people for a living. Leave space, because sometimes they'll feel the obligation to fill up that space with talking.
Every
and then ask him like question, like I think like something like with money, like it's always a thing with money too. Like ask him like a question, like if they found like $1,000, what would they do with it?
They found it like on the ground.
Yeah,
because I'm like, what you saying?
And they saw and you saw somebody drop it. You saw somebody drop it.
That's different. I see. That's different. If I saw somebody drop it, I'm gonna give it back. But if it's just out there in Walmart, and I just happened, I just walked across it.
Amen.
That's different.
We ain't going to do no investigation.
Yeah, something like that. But along those lines, you got to ask character-based questions. Like, and you don't have to make it about money, but you don't necessarily act like you're asking. It doesn't have to be as direct as that, but just something that you like could think about in your head. That's like a character-based question. That's just like open-ended, and just see how they answer it. And if they answer it to the way your character aligns to, then you're good. But if they answer it weird, then that's something to just like think about. Might not be a red flag, that is a big red flag, but it's something.
You know, Alex, that would be a great question to ask ChatGPT.
Chat is always open. browser. One moment.
I think ChatGPT would give you some great questions to ask to find out someone's character and if it's aligned with yours.
That's a good idea too. I always forget about Chad.
Asking Chad now. He stays open on my browser.
Yeah.
What was the question?
A character or integrity question, I think it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for dating.
And so Chad said, what's something you're really proud of and why? Can you tell me about a time you faced a tough decision? How did you handle it? That almost sound like a job interview.
Exactly, because I was just going to say, that's a job interview question.
What qualities do you value most in your friendships? When life gets stressful, how do you typically cope? How do you define success? Is there a principle or motto you live by? How do you usually handle conflict or disagreements? And what's something you've learned from a mistake?
What was the prompt that you gave it to come up with these?
Yeah.
So I just did a quick prompt because it's in the middle of a recording, so I couldn't get too deep.
Okay.
Yeah, I just asked what are great questions to ask to get to know someone's character integrity on the first date. I didn't go too deep because
you could tailor those to like their relationship.
Recording right now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so typically I have a whole little conversation with Chad. We get along real good. But we're gonna round out to the last question, which of course is for financial experts on the call. We had to have a financial question.
This is important. It's the most important one. This is the make or break with the relationship right here.
It is. And like, even when it comes to breakups and divorce, we all know finances plays a huge role. Sidebar myself, I think it's good to learn the person's money personality. Learning their money personality to see the compatibility of your money personalities is huge because, like, I'm not saying that they have to be exactly like me, but if we on completely ends of the spectrum, it'll definitely have to be some type of growing, molding in order for it to be successful. Because if I am, well, y'all know who I am, and you are just like swiping your life away.
Throw it in a bag.
Yeah, we're not going to get along. We are not. I mean, y'all know I love to travel like the next person, but I am breaking the bank by no means in my travels. But yeah, so the question is, when should financials be discussed in this dating process? And then are there any deal breakers like income, character traits? Like, are there any deal breakers, or are there things that you like, okay, well, we need to have a come hither moment in this relationship before we go further?
Can I say something first?
Go ahead. Let's go. Give us your 25 cents.
The first one I hear is this, they keep going 50-50.
Oh, no.
Rider male, right? Now back to that question. As soon as I hear that, right, I'm like, they not thinking about the larger picture in the financial piece, right? The larger picture in the financial piece is how the whole thing comes together, right? Our collective net worth, right? So when they start talking about that nonsense, I'm like, that's a red flag right away. But on a larger scale, how their relationship to debt, right? Like in their relationship to investing, and do they even have a budget? Do you even know how much you spend every month?
Now, as a financial expert, majority of people don't have a budget. So I don't necessarily think that that's fair, because looking at statistics, a huge number of people don't budget because we didn't learn how to budget, friend.
Yeah, but you got to know where your money going a little bit, like at least to be.
Realistically,
he's looking for the unicorn that has a budget.
Correct. You looking for
he said in y'all circle. He gonna find somebody in y'all circle. Because in regular society, you're not gonna find.
You better be dressed sexy as hell at FinCon this year, because
I don't think that's necessarily limited to FinCon. To be honest with you, I think that some people loosely have a budget, but not necessarily something that's like, what do you call it? Written down. It's like a mental budget. I know that's not great, right? But they know that they save first, right? Some people have an idea where, okay, I put away 25% of my income first, right? Like that's always a good sign, right? And then also a sign that I pay off my credit cards every month. At least they do that, right? Those are the basic things that they have some type of financial acumen. Like how many like I call them car crashes. Like I said, do you car crash in your checking account often? Like car crash is when you get overdraft fees. I asked them like, does that happen to you often? Like, and if that happens, that's the idea of knowing that you ain't got no damn
when you
budget.
asking that? When you asking that on what day? Because I'm like, you in my business. We ain't even like we ain't even that far yet.
For money people who know how to talk about money, that conversation can happen almost immediately because there's ways of like spending a conversation to money right away, and it's just an art for money people. Like I've always I talk to people on the street about their money, and they talk to me about, oh yeah, I need to learn how to do this. I'm like, yeah, you got to do this invest.
No, and that's what I'm saying. That's good because that's your expertise, and I'm saying that's good that people ask for help. But I'm saying on a date, I'm gonna be looking at you side eye. Because why are you asking me about my money? I don't even know if I like you yet. What are you asking me about that for?
At what point?
What point is it when you want to go? When you decided, okay, I like you enough to go further?
Okay.
Like it's not just on no date tip because I don't. Like I said, to me it takes more than 3 dates to know if you want to keep talking to somebody. You're not gonna ask me about my finances on the 3rd date.
So. Is this a first date without ever talking on the phone, or is it a first date where you?
No, I mean you could talk for a while. I mean, I'm not even putting. I don't want to put a time frame on it. I'm gonna just put a milestone on it. Like where are we in our dating process, and what you should ask. And then if that to me, you should ask that if you're thinking about going further than just us casually dating.
I can agree with that.
I mean, if you're dating with intention, I'm sorry, if you're dating with intention, you ain't waiting to no 3rd date. You gotta know about because
that's true. That's true. If you're dating, you 100% correct.
Money. Right. You spending money on these dates, and that's the thing. These dates get expensive. By 3rd date, that's like $300. They get doing it most of the time. You do
that's
that.
$300.
But she didn't say necessarily
$100 each day.
She didn't say necessarily after the 3rd day. She said if you know before.
I said if you're knowing that you're vibing with this person, you want to go further, then that's a discussion that you would have. Like, look, we enjoying each other companies. Whatever the conversation may be, you could bring that up casually, but not in such a. Oh, okay. So let me ask you about this. You know what I'm saying? Because I need to know about your money on a 3rd date.
Yeah, I agree with Bianca. I think for me, it's the 1st date. I don't even know if I like you yet. I don't need you asking me too much. Are you attempting to commit fraud here? What are you trying to do? You trying to figure out what my credit is looking like?
What's your point?
Swipe a card or that? Hell no. So, but once I feel like, you know what I'm saying? It's treacherous out here sometimes. But I would say when you get to a place where you feel like, I'm interested in this person. You do want to make sure that, okay, well, what's going on with these finances to make sure it's something. But by that time, I've already looked you up to see if you owning any properties, and is there 1 or 2 names on the properties? You want to make sure
background check.
Baby, you have to do a thorough investigation.
What's the name on this property? Did you forget to disclose that you weren't? Oh, okay. But you have to do some of those things.
You have to do your own investigation out in these streets, man. You truly do. For me, I like to listen. I like to really pay attention. Like kind of like Tim said, let them talk. I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm using what you say and what you do. And even sometimes, not to be funny, but a lot of times when they're saying one thing, but their actions are saying something completely different. To me, that's a bigger thing that I'm going to listen to, what their actions are saying compared to what they're now having the financial conversation. I don't know if it's a set time to do it. I wouldn't initially come in like the first, like immediately, because I need to see if I like you, if we have chemistry, if we even going to see each other again after today. Because we could have the first date and we never see each other again because the first date didn't go so well. Because we don't even match. Like I don't even want to talk to you. I don't want to see your face again. So I don't care what you're doing with the money because we ain't got to talk no more. So I think that so that's.
I think it'll gradually come. So like you just read the room when you talking to somebody and you on the phone or you dating. It'll come up eventually somehow. But for you to just have a questionnaire, That's
But
what I'm
on
like,
that,
no.
I think eventually leaves too much room because.
Well, okay, so I ain't gonna say eventually, like he said, if you dating intentionally, it's gonna come at a point.
Absolutely.
And you could kind of gauge the conversation as to how that person will feel. You can kind of get a feel to where people at with just a general conversation. But just the way he was saying it, I was just messing with him anyway on that. But like, you can't just come out and ask me about my money. I'm not telling you.
Because I'll have
you
guys
never gonna
that I
ask that
date.
way.
But you know what? It's a good point because I'll have guys that I date that they think because I teach money, I'm impressed by money. If y'all get what I'm saying. And so they feel the need to tell me, "Oh, I get that." And all I'm hearing is car note, high mortgage. Like that's all I'm bringing.
You still broke,
right? They talk
with all of the things,
and I'm bringing like, "Ooh, that's an income ratio." Like, you know what I mean? That's what's going through my head. Like, sir, that's not the flex that you think that is over here.
You got a lot of bills. That's what I know.
That are in this finance space, and we start out having conversations with young ladies, and we mention what we do. Inevitably, there's a question about their own personal situation.
Oh, absolutely.
Ask, oh, maybe I can get some free advice right here, right now.
Absolutely.
They ask a question, and then for us, it's like, well, I can't answer that question without knowing ABC. So
and that's perfect. There go your segue.
Yeah,
there go for you.
Right
you can find out what you need to know.
You find out what you need to know.
Answer the question, of course,
within the first 3 days.
Yeah. Right. And that's fine because they came to you for the information.
Correct.
You ain't come and sit down and say, hey, we on our third day. Correct. What's going on with your finances?
No one says it that way.
Right. This free information ain't so free because you find out what you need to know. Then you answer that question like, okay, so this was great because you didn't like the answers. You're like, well, this was great.
I'll be in contact with you. Look.
Don't call me. I call you.
Well, no, I'm gonna help you fix your problem.
That's right, Ladarris. That's right, Ladarris. Yep.
I'm gonna send you my calendar.
Depending on that answer
on a professional level.
Oh, gotcha. On a professional level. Okay, gotcha.
That's what's up.
Let's fix this
problem. Okay, yeah, I hear you on that.
So now I got a client and a potential boo at the same time.
I know you should be. I don't know if you gonna mix
the. I don't mix it.
Like I have female colleagues, and that's all.
That's a slippery slope now. That's a slippery slope.
Yeah, Darius, you.
Don't mix it. Look, don't mix the two.
Because you don't know if she crazy yet or not. And so if things don't go well, you find out she crazy, baby. She'll try to tear your whole business down because she didn't get what she wanted out of you.
Listen, hey, I'm trying to tell you, everybody ain't crazy out here. Okay.
No, not everybody, but it's some out there.
And I am a very good judge of character. Mm-hmm. Okay. I've made some mistakes, but I'm a very good judge of character. Mm-hmm. And so I know crazy when I see crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. What if you don't see crazy though?
Exactly, because real crazy.
Real crazy ain't visible.
Listen, I got clients that are crazy.
I know some friends that they told me they did some stuff to some guy, and I was shocked.
You like, you did what?
Right. Like, I didn't even know you was like that.
They're probably in their 20s. You know, we all grow.
They were not. No, lies you tell. They were not. And I was shocked. And I was like, I didn't even know you would do something like that.
Oh, well, never mind.
Mm-hmm. Y'all act like crazy people don't need help with their money. Come on now.
Oh, they do. Definitely.
Come on now.
They need their money.
Y'all can be the best of the help they crazy at. I'm sorry, they crazy behind. Get the help they need.
I don't care. You can. They need bail money, so they need to be good with their money.
Oh Lord, who you been talking to? They need bail money. All right.
Thank you guys for your time. I truly appreciate it. I have loved this conversation. It has been great.
It's been fun.
Yes, I've loved the different point of views and perspectives. It was everything, but we're going to close this one out, and then I'll catch you all on the next video.